Hey guys, happy early Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving's upon us, and I've got asked by some people here at school to do some Thanksgiving style art for you guys. And they kind of wanted to do hand turkeys, but I think you guys are doing some cooler stuff than just simple little hand turkeys. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some in Pixlr. So here we go. I want you to type in Pixlr space editor, and we're going to pick the one that says Pixlr.com editor. Now this is going to be a long lesson, so it might end up being 2 or 3 assignments. It's not as easy as it looks. So we're going to launch Pixlr E, and we're going to what are we going to do? Not that. Cancel that. We're going to click on Create New. Keep it on full HD. Type in your name. Type in the word turkey, Turkey, and turn on your background. Alright, so that's what's going to get us started. Click Create, and here we go. What I want you guys to do is, a lot of times it helps if we start off by taking care of some things like getting rid of our history. So it's not going to disappear completely. We're just going to click that negative sign right here, see it? And it goes right there, it goes down, and now we can see more of our layers. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the plus sign here and add an empty layer. So now we've got a blank layer there, and we're going to be working with a lot of cutting out with the selection tools. So what we have to do is you got to think of these as separate pages. Okay, we really got to start understanding that every layer is a new page. They're just invisible until we start adding stuff to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint that background brown. So we're going to click on our fill button here, and then we're going to make sure we choose our top color. Choose your top color for this one, not the bottom one. Top color, and brown is going to be with a orange hue and down towards the bottom here. So anywhere right around there is good. And do that, and then all you have to do is move your cursor over your workspace and click there. Next, I want to zoom out a little bit so I can see my edges a little bit more. Now I can see my edges more, and what I can do with this, we're going to stay on this same layer, and always make sure the layer you're working on is also the layer selected. You don't want to wind up doing the wrong thing on a different layer, and then all of your work is mixed up. And okay, so make sure you're on this layer number 2. Okie dokie. So what we're going to do next is we have to draw. And we're going to pull on an old lesson that we did online. We're going to draw lines that give this texture. So we're going to be making kind of like a feathery looking texture all the way across this. So we're going to click on our pen tool here. Click out of your ads as they pop up. Click on our pen tool. We're going to keep the variant on sketchy. You want that to be sketchy. It gives us a nice little cool extra texture. Change your size to about 20. Don't worry about the amount. The opacity needs to stay at 100%. Don't change that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change our color. So click on your brown, the one on top. And we're going to move the value slightly higher. Notice how it changes. That was our old brown. This is our new brown. Okay. So with this, we're going to click OK. And then what I'm going to draw, it looks like, don't do this. This is just an example. We're going to be doing this kind of line. But what I have to do is I have to click, drag, and then let go. And then click, drag, and let go. But we're going to do it at an angle starting over here. Click, drag, and let go. Click, drag, and let go. If I don't let go in between each little hump, it looks like this, and it does the texture on both sides. So that's why I'm saying click, drag, and let go. Now, oops, I'm going to speed up the video so you guys don't have to watch me do this for 5 hours. But this takes probably the longest time. Okay, so now after you've done that, what we're going to do is the same thing again with a darker brown. What you'll have to do is click on your top color here, and we're going to change that down below where our other brown was, close to the black but not all the way into the black. So it's a very dark brown. And we're going to kind of go fill in between the other feathers, a few spots all the way across. And I'm going to speed the video up again so you don't have to wait for me forever. Remember, you're clicking, drag, let go, click, drag, let go, click, drag, let go. Okay, so now that I have that background done there, what we're going to do next is we're going to make some copies of it. We want to have, let's see, we're going to make the body out of this. We're going to make the neck out of this, the head, the wing. And so what we're going to need to do, we can do the head and the wing together. We're going to do 3 copies of this. So we got 1 copy here. Then what you're going to do is you click on the 3 dots next to that layer, and it brings up this screen, which lets you pick a few options down here at the bottom. And we're going to choose to duplicate this layer. Duplicate means that you're making a copy. So we're going to do 1 and 2. So now I have 3 copies of this. And what these little check marks mean over here, they're important for what we're about to do. If you uncheck all 3 of these layers, you don't see anymore. They're all gone. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to click on one at a time. I'll click on my top one first so that I can see it. Now there's 2 other copies of it below it. If I were to check off of this one and check on there, it's there again. That's what these are. These mean that it's visible or hidden. So I'm going to make sure my top layer is selected and it's checked on so I can see it, and I don't want to see the other ones right now. What we're going to do is make the body of the turkey, and this part, all you have to do is go to the lasso tool, lasso select, click on lasso select, and this is one where you have to click, drag, and then drag it all the way back to where you began. And it helps if you pretend that your mouse pad, the thing down there that you're looking at, if you pretend that that is the whole picture itself. So if you're going to try to draw from the top down and around, you want to start at the top of your mouse pad in the middle. So I'll start that and get rid of this add. Okay, so I'm going to start here, click, make it nice and big, really big. Keep it ovular. Don't touch the sides. And there. Alright, so now you can see that the blinking line is on there. That means it's selected. And we're going to use a special button for this. Now the shortcut buttons are Control X, or you can come up here to edit and click cut. But it shows you the shortcut is Control X, CTRL plus X. And when you do those, if you do the shortcuts, you have to do them, hit Control and then X. So I cut that out, and you should see a big hole here now. And what we're going to do is we're just going to throw away this layer. So we're going to click the 3 dots and delete the layer. And the next thing we're going to do, it would be Control V, as in Victor, or you can click on Edit and Paste. Alright, so there we go. So now I have a new layer with the turkey body on it. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to click on my Arrange tool. This one is the one where I can reshape it and resize it. So I'm going to click on Arrange tool. You should have 4 square blue squares for your corners. Those let you shrink it down. And you're going to shrink yours down. And you can also move your mouse over. When you move your mouse over your picture, your layer here, it can move it. Click and drag it. You can also tilt it by clicking on the circle up here at the top. I'm going to tilt mine just a little bit. And maybe shrink it down just a little bit more. Alright, so I've got my body for my turkey. I've got enough space to do legs, tail feathers, a head. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on our other layer right below it. You can see on the layers that this one's still full, and this one looks like a little turkey potato. So click that one, click the visible part so that you can see it, make it visible. And then you're also going to click on it and drag it up above the other one. See how my little potato turkey body is down on the second from the top, and my layer is on the top. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be cutting out a neck and a head at the same time. I'm going to show you guys something you kind of already learned when we did the moon picture. We're going to combine two selections together. So to do that, we're going to click over here on Marquee Select and let it be a rectangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it on Add to Selection mode. So this, whenever you draw two, they become one. Alright, but I don't want those two. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this side, draw a nice long rectangle about halfway, and then I'm going to click on my ellipse circle one up there at the top. So I'll change it to that. I still have my rectangle here, and I'm going to click kind of over on this side, from this side over here, and click and drag into it so that I have kind of a head and a neck, and they're laying sideways right now, but they connect together. And with that, now I can cut and then paste. So cut, delete the layer, and paste. It's like this. You can go to Edit, Cut. You see the other layer behind it, right? Now I need to throw this layer away. So click here, click Delete, and then I come back up here and Edit, Paste, or Control V. Now that's much too big. I need to shrink it down. Do you remember how to do that? It's right here. Arrange tool. So I can shrink it, move it, and turn it all together. I'm going to shrink mine down a little bit more. There we go. That's good. Okay. So far, looks like we have a turkey drumstick. That's the head, the neck, and the body. And it's got that nice feathery texture that we created. So we're looking pretty sharp. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on our last layer here. And again, we're going to drag it to the top so we can see only it. And what we're going to do with this one first, we want this to stand out from the other feathers. So we're going to make them a kind of different color. To do that, we go to Adjustment, and go to Hue and Saturation. Hue and Saturation. What I did was I clicked on this layer, make sure your layer is blue, and on top, and go to Adjustment, Hue and Saturation. And I can click and move that over here for a second so I can see what happens. So if I change my hue, that changes the color, the actual part of the rainbow that it's on. But it doesn't change the saturation or the value. So let's see what happens when I change saturation. If I desaturate it or take away saturation, it actually loses all the color. If I go the other way, it gets more intense with the color. Really bright, solid colors. And then the last one is lightness or value. So if I go down, it gets darker. If I go up, it gets lighter. I think I'm going to do a combination of all three. Maybe make it a little bit lighter, a little bit more saturated, and change the hue a little bit. You can pick where you want to put yours as long as it ends up looking different than the original brown that it was. And then I click Apply.